Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity Ezel back on Card Fight Vanguard as in the Vanity weekly videos, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Until I come subscribe and such story. This time we are covering more reveals from set 2. We have some... Wait, no, last week was Orpheus cards. This week we have a new Dragon Empire ride line, which is slowly giving me hope that we're going to get 2 new ride lines every set. Bushy, please let this be the set that we get the Divine Sister one, or if you really want to push it off to set 3, make Divine Sisters really freaking good. And we also have Zorga, who gave us a second roaming prison dragon and then gave us 4 more attacks consistent. Or not 4 attacks, 4 more attacks. 4 attacks more consistently. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these reveals started and see what we got. First up today, we have Dowsing Finder, Grid on boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto win and boost, energy blast 2, choose one of your units being boosted against with 5,000 power for the turn. Okay, I know they're not going to do this, and I know every reason why they're not going to do this, but I really wish they gave us like any like per nation one generic card that just so happened to energy charge. Like the one from Welstra, where it was like when it boosts the specific name grade 3, energy charge 1. As long as they made it generic, I don't care what grade it would be, I don't care what its requirement is, I would just love to get one so we can make the trial deck bosses more consistent. Are they going to do that? No. Reasoning why? Because every deck that isn't the trial deck bosses suddenly have a free energy charge and a lot more ways to abuse things if they have free deck space. So Dowsing Finder, long story short, no Dowsing Finder, but if Bushy ever does it, I know what I'm doing with them, even though I know I'm not going to be using them to their full potential. So yeah, 2 of Dowsing Finder if you choose to run it, I guess. Then we have Dual Horned Flying Kick Stagon. Coolest name, coolest art I have, okay, well not coolest art, but like one of my favorite arts, or at least the coolest art from set 2 so far, and it's on a card I'm never going to use. Grade 2 and 5k shield to 8k base. Auto when placed on rearguard token from the drop zone, energy blast 3. It gets plus 15k for the turn. Okay, here's the thing. We know what Zorga kind of does. I guess I can warrant this in Zorga, except they have double roaming prisons and we do not need this. So there's that. And then Crisonio doesn't need this because we just have the grade 3 and having to eat up 3 more EB isn't really worth this. What I'm saying is no. So 2 of 3 of, I guess, if you choose to run it because maybe you can't afford everything else. Then we have our new ride line, which introduced a new typing for 2 cards, and that's it. And that is the Synchro Heart Dragons, but the ride line is called the Gaia Line or something. And it's Baby Dragon Andra, grades of boost 5k shield 6k base, auto repond for second draw a card, standard darkness plus free, like draw a card. You do actually need this as your ride line for, or in the starter for the ride line. And look at it, it's so cute. The baby dragon, not just the dragon, but like the little kid in the background too. It's so cute. I would run this as my starter regardless of what deck I was using if it didn't lock me out of skills, because that's so cute. The entire art is cute. Then we have Flame Blade Drag Ritter Gry. Okay, this is amazing. This straight up is amazing, and I am so upset that this is locked behind very specific ride line cards. Like not just having the starter, but it also requires the grade 2, because this straight up is like my favorite, or like tied for my favorite in terms of like ride line arts from Dragon Empire, or like ride line arts in general. And if we're going from Dragon Empire, the only thing that rivals this is Reno. So that looks so cool, and I am so disappointed that this is restricted to Gry. Anyways, good on boost 5k shield 8k base, contains Vanguard. If your soul has Baby Dragon Andra, when you would ride to Synchro Heart Dragon Andra from your ride deck, you can ride that discard card from your hand, and then auto rear guard at the beginning of your battle phase. Oh, I didn't realize at the beginning of the battle phase. Whoops. Anyways, at the beginning of the battle phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Gry in its card name, rest this unit, choose one of your rear guards with Andra in its card name to end of that turn. That unit can attack from back row and it gets plus 10,000 power. All around pretty solid, because if you have multiple, you can just stack a bunch of 10Ks onto the Andra in the back row, and not to mention the fact make it be able to swing from back row, and you can target multiple. So say for example, for some reason your board is kind of messy and you just happen to have 2 of these on board and 2 Andras in the back row, you can just casually rest these and pump the Andras. So all around, Gry is a very solid grade 1 and an amazing looking grade 1 too. Again, sadly it's restricted to the Gry deck, but man, I love looking at this card. I think I know who's thumbnail material now. 4 of him. And then we have Synchro Heart Dragon Andra, grade 2 instead 5k shield 10k base. Not nearly as cool as the grade 1 predecessor. Synchro Heart Dragon again, and the only other Synchro Heart Dragon currently in existence. Continues Vanguard Circle. Well, there's 3 actually. This is the second one. Continues Vanguard if your soul has Flame Blade Drag Ritter Gry. When you would ride to Drag Connector Gry Andra from your ride deck, you can ride that discard card from your hand. That continues rear guard during turn. If you have a unit of Gry in its card name, it gets 5,000 power for that turn, or 5,000 power during your turn. So all around pretty solid. 15k. Just by having like any unit with Gry on your board actually. Oh my god, that's so much better than I thought it was. I thought it was restricted to Vanguard. Okay, so if you just call a bunch of these down, as long as this thing's on your board at some point, this is an automatic 15k. That's actually really cool. And then I always shit on this whenever like they keep making like the ride decks always have like the discard skills. But listen, they have a really cool looking grade 1. I give them the excuse for this one. So yeah, also they have, you know, actual rear guard skills for the ride line. I'm willing to give them the pass on this one. So 3 of them in the main deck, 1 of them in the ride deck. And I say that because the grade 3 actually requires them. I mean, technically you only need 1 copy of this in Soul, and I mean it's best to have more copies of this in main deck just in case. But you know, if you want an early game rush, you're definitely gonna want more of these in the main deck. Anyways, Dry Connector Gyandra, grade 3 10% 30k base, human, and Synchro Heart Dragon, the only other Synchro Heart Dragon outside of the starter in the grade 2. Auto Vanguard, it has 1 skill, but technically it's 2 skills. At the beginning of your main phase, rest of this unit, choose up to 1 grade 2, choose up to 1 of each a grade 2 or less card with Gry in its card name, and a grade 2 or less card with Andrew in its card name for your soul. Call into rear guard circle, and this unit will get Auto Vanguard once per turn. At the end of the battle, your rear guard with Andra and its card name attack, whether it's in front row or back row. Put the attacking unit and a rear guard with Gry and their card names into your soul. To stand this unit, and all your front row units can put 10,000 power for that turn until end of turn. So it's 1 restand, but it does it without CB, it does it without Soul Blast. You automatically get these 2 free out from your soul, so unless your opponent finds a way to kill them, lock them, or bind them during your battle phase, you're automatically going to be able to do this every single turn. You still get your Twin Drive, meaning if you find a way to stand him back up, swing with him, and then do this effect, you automatically have 4 drive checks. God forbid Bushy Prince support like that. But, yeah. Cool, that's really good, and there's a very specific card I can't wait to go over, but like that's how you make 1 skill actually divide into 2 really good skills. No offense to Avant-Garde, but in my opinion, this is a take notes moment because I think this is honestly really cool. That's great. It literally has a toolbox right there, and it gets them every time. 1 of in the ride deck, 3 of in the main deck, you know, gets numbers. And then we move on to, in my opinion, the most broken order in the game, or not broken, but the most splashable and will be splashed into every, or almost every Dragon Empire deck in the game. Drag Resonance. I want to let this be clear. When this was revealed, I did not see, because I'm assuming it's supposed to be Gyandra's hand. I did not see Gyandra's hand. I saw a very specific dragon. A dragon that most of the time holds a sword, maybe sometimes guns. You know, so dragon is called Dragonic. A Dragonic dragon so powerful, it's called the Overlord. An Overlord so powerful that some people call it the Great. I know I'm getting very specific here, but yes, I saw the Great's hand here. And when I read its effect, that is not name restricted for whatever ungodly reason that may be, I immediately saw the paths this card can go down. Normal order, grade 3, no cost whatsoever. Choose 1 of your vanguards, doesn't matter the name, and it gets auto vanguard once per turn when this unit stands. Not just during your, like, granted it's a hard once per turn, but it can be during the main phase, it can be during the battle phase, it can be just during the stand phase if you somehow found a way to play it by then. All your front row gets plus 10,000 power for that turn until end of turn. Think about this for a second. Gyandra automatically gives 10k from his own skill. Plus this, that's an automatic free 20 to the entire front row without triggers. Cool. But here's the thing though. Overlord, plus 10. Okay. More importantly, Faded 1, Dragress, plus 10. I want to let this be clear. I'm willing to bet almost everything that this card was not made a once per turn because of this. I'm willing to bet this was made a once per turn because of everything else that can be splashed with it. Because think about this. This works in the entirety of Dragon Empire, which means it works in the entirety of Premium. So, also remember, every Dragon Empire deck has Drag Veda, which would proc this. So, you know, like what, that's 6, 10, let's just round up and say about like 7 decks, and I don't even remember how many decks are in D now, but let's just say 7 decks in D can all access this. I'm pretty sure there are more than 7 Dragon Empire decks in D that can access this, but then beyond that, there's like everything in Premium. This card is stupid, and I love it, and I cannot wait to see the chaos this unleashes. And then we have Residente Griffin, Great on Boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Okay, cool moon in the background, but I'm still like not over this. Like, this is such a generic R2. Like, I hate the background because like it doesn't say anything, but like its skill more than makes up for it. But anyways, this thing, auto rear guard, the only time the moon will ever be outshadowed by another card. Great on Boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard. When this unit attacks with boost, you have Andra Vanguard. It gets plus 2k power for that battle. And the counter boss one, choose 1 of your opponent's rear guards, grade 1 less back row rear guards, and kill it. So cool. I made a misplay when I first. Okay, so with this and another card, I made a misplay when I was playing the match for the first time. Also with this, because I completely forgot that it did activate only during the battle phase. But I kept considering the Vanguard as a Gry, considering I remember there was a case in V, I don't remember what it was, but like there caused confusion on the questions, and I don't remember my response to it, but I'm pretty sure the ending conversation was if a card has like something like this where it shares the two names, it just goes off of the first one, so, or it doesn't count either. And I don't remember what the card was. I just remember it was sometime in V that this happened, so for all I know it could have been a premium unit. But point is, I just didn't use Griffin's skill ever. But yeah, cool. Kills a rear guard's a extra booster and is a really cool card. I mean, we don't need it because we have this, but you know what, it's nice to have, so 4 of. Then we have Meltknuckle Golem, great 2 and 5k shield, 10k base. This is how you make real energy blast support. Auto when placed on rear guard. So if you have a great 3 get a Vanguard Guy in the card name, Gry in the card name, energy blast 3 to draw a card, then auto rear guard when your other unit with Gry or Andrew on his card name attacks. If your opponent's Vanguard's a great 3 or greater, this unit goes 1,000 power for the turn. Okay, the fact that they said, oh wait, no, when your unit, I said other. I was about to say, if it says other in the actual card text, that implies that they're going to give us more support that can change names unless they are already prepping for premium. Or, you know, you can just run this in Murakumo and then just casually change everyone's names to Gry and or Andra. But cool, being able to give 5k is all around pretty solid. It doesn't make itself big numbers, but yeah, when you have this and the most broken order in the game ever, yeah, you're probably gonna get good numbers off this. So 4 of. And then we have Cannonball of Duststorm Zakis, grade 3, 10% 30k base. Okay, this is the coolest looking Eugene support card ever that doesn't actually support Eugene. Listen, if Eugene had this, we could already tell it would be busted. It wouldn't matter what the skill does, because in Eugene you don't judge a card based off its skill, you judge it of how fierce its guns are. And when you have about two different rocket launchers just shooting at people, and God knows where the other ones are coming from, you're probably a badass. Anyways, Zakas, auto from a rear guard circle at the beginning of your battle phase, counter boss 1, choose one, usually either Gry or Andro in their card names, and it will get plus 5,000 power for that turn. If you chose a card, draw a card. So Vanguard or, you know, the Andro, you're probably gonna buff up with this, and then you're just gonna swing with it to get the restand, so possibly that one as well. And auto rear guard when your other unit with either Gry or Andrew on his card name attacks. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater for the power. Okay, I assume they restricted this to your opponent have to be a grade 3 or greater, because this works regardless of a grade your opponent's Vanguard at, and so does this one. Meaning, if these two were not restricted to that, you would get at least plus 30k to your 2 front rear guards. Meaning, without boosters, both of them are at least 40k. Yeah, maybe that's why those two are restricted to grade 3 or greater. Either way, very solid grade 3, nice support card 4 of. And then we have Gatlinus Dragon. The first thing I thought of when I saw him, not even reading his skill, was Youthberg. I don't know why I was supposed to say Eugene, was Youthberg. And then I read his skill and I was like, definitely Youthberg. So grade 3, grade 2, intercept 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear guard when your Vanguard is placed during your battle phase, energy blast 3, counter charge 1, and this unit both get plus 5,000 power for that turn. Cool, it gets counter charging, adds numbers to both the unit that was placed and itself. Pretty good card. Hey, Bushy, you know what would be a good idea? You give us a Divine Sister grade 3 that superior rides during the battle phase, and we can, you know, countercharge a little bit and get more numbers. I will actually run this in a Divine Sister deck if you actively give us a grade 3 that can superior ride in Divine Sisters. Just saying, 3 over 4 of it. It actually is a cool card. I am tempted to run this in Youthberg now. Next up we have Gekku Gun Kaiju, Des Baldur Gun, grade 2 5k shield, 10k base. The coolest looking art in my opinion. Okay, I have a lot of good looking arts in set too, so let's go ahead and get that part out of the way. Act rear guard once per turn by energy blasting 5. Choose a grade 2 or greater set order from your drop zone or order zone, put it to your hand, and this unit gets 2k for that turn. The highest energy blast cost right now on arguably one of the best looking cards in set 2 with a bunch of guns that is generic to the entirety of Brantgate, and they couldn't have given it a better skill. But either way though, the effect is good. It can recycle orders. If your orders have on place abilities, it can definitely be helpful with that. I just expected a lot more from a really cool looking card with the highest energy blast cost in the game so far, but it's a nice generic card, so 2 over 3 of. Following that, we also have Well-Growth Dragon, Crisonio, says support card, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard, matter boosted if this unit was placed on rear guard by the Vanguard's ability during this turn. By counterblasting, or if your unit, doesn't matter if it was this unit or something else, counterblast 1, retire this unit, and choose one of your grade 3 or greater Custodians from your solo drop zone, put it to the bottom of the deck. If you do, draw a card. I understand why they're all getting cards that can recycle themselves, because they search themselves for persona rides, but I feel like they should have instead focused on sending them to Soul, considering the fact that they all got really cool support cards in set 1 that wanted them to go to Soul. Maybe that's going to be their support for set 3. I hope so, because that would make the decks move a little bit faster, and it would be very funny to see Triumph Dragon go face with entire front row double critical without seeing triggers, but we'll see. Either way though, it's a nice support card to have. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible either. I wish it didn't cost a counter boss, but it's okay, so 2 over 3 of. And now now it's time for our final reveals for the day. First up, we have our starter for Zorga, and that would be Disastrous Slurper. So when we're at a point for a second draw card, it's the standard starter, nothing too special about it. It's also the same starter for Crisonios because the quick start deck bosses share the same Gry Line and triggers as the Zorga line, or not as the Zorga line, but as the respective Fated One line. So this is the Zorga starter, which makes sense, all things considered. Then we have our grade 1, which is Abyss Fishing, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto wrote upon by the Splint, the Preordained, by you can soul blast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card, up to 1 normal, or 1 up to 1 normal order, reveal them both, put the revealed order into your hand, and then discard the revealed unit, and then shuffle your deck. So all around pretty solid. It's a way to fill up the drop zone, it's a way to get orders into your hand, which is a very nice card for Zorga to have all around. And if you still want to run Breaker Chain and Black Husk Dragon, you can, but I think this new line has good intentions to possibly swap those two out, but you can only run this new line with Zorga because he has to be wrote upon by the grade 2 for his skill, and the grade 2 needs the Zorga with the divine skill. But Split the Ordained is a grade 2 with the standard grade 2 stats, and then auto and wrote upon by you with Zorga and the card name and has divine skill. You can choose up to 1 normal order from your drop zone, put it to your hand. So cool, unlike Ranker Chains that doesn't auto set up an order in your drop zone, meaning you get a free order that you can play during your turn, and then the following turn you can get that order back, and then contains rearguard. If you put an order this turn, it'll get plus 5,000 power, so 15k. Nice little poke pressure if you really need to call it, but this deck does not need to call this to rearguard unless you break hard, because now we have 2 roaming prison dragons. More on that later. Following that, of course, we have our main grade 3, and that is Fated One of Taboo, Zorga Nadir. So, of course, he has 3 skills. I don't know why I feel like I need to specify that he has more skills than most of the divine skill units. Anyways, continues Vanguard. When you play a normal order, the most busted part about this, you can choose a normal order with a different card name from your bind zone and alchemagic it. So to my understanding, the order that was Alchemagic just stays in the bind zone, meaning you just don't fill up your bind zone at all, which is great because his second skill fills up the bind zone. And even remember, there's that one order that's Counterblast 1, play it, I think it's Overcoming Unnatural Death, play it to bind itself, and then you pick 2 orders from your drop zone and add it to hand, so you can increase your bind zone by more. And why would you want to increase your bind zone? Act Vanguard once per turn, cost Energy Blast 2, and bind a normal order from your drop zone. Choose up to 2 cards from your drop zone, call them to rearguard circle. They'll both get plus 5,000 for that turn for each normal order with a different card name in your bind zone. At the end of your turn, retire those units. The first time you use this effect, they will both get plus 5. Guaranteed, unless you've already had to use that order to set up your bind zone for this moment. But the best part about this is usable every single turn, because every single turn you get a free 3 EB, which means you can always use this unless you're using your EB on the only other card in the deck that's probably going to cost EB. And then its divine skill is Auto Vanguard. When this unit attacks into a grade 3 or greater unit, whether it's Vanguard or Rearguard, Soul Boss 1, choose a column, stand all your rearguards in that column at the end of the turn, kill those units. So fills your drop zone back up for roaming prisons, gets a F-ton of pressure, literally costs nothing outside of Soul Blast and Energy Blast, and is all around amazing, and pretty much now guarantees the only reason that you die is if you cannot play an order from hand, because you automatically will have always access to the Alchemagic in the bind zone, which is pretty solid. Zorga Nadir is a very powerful card, and it's really weird that the only 2 of the fated ones so far that actually involve energy in terms of cost, I don't count Crisonio because she doesn't cost energy, she just gives you energy, are the 2 units that existed long before DZ, aka Zorga and Bolster. But all around, pretty solid skill, column restand, consistency out the wazoo, dumbest way to Alchemagic so far. Then we have new orders to benefit Zorga. So first up we have Flies, Fill the Skies, Brand of Corpses, normal order, played if you have Zorga in his card name with the divine skill, you play it for free, and choose one of your vanguards, and it contains Vanguard. All your rear guards placed from drops on this turn get plus 5,000 power to the end of that turn. So basically it is Clouded Misma but better. If you don't remember what Clouded Misma does, it gives 5k to your entire front row. It gives the Vanguard get 5k to the entire front row, so it works really well on Persona right turns. However, now that this thing calls 2, and now that you have Roaming Prison and Roaming Prison V2 Electric Boogaloo, yeah, this card's really good. If you were running Clouded Misma in your Zorga deck, just replace it with this and you'll probably be fine, because that's honestly pretty good. And then we have Clutch of Grudge Toxin, grade 3 normal order. Play if you have a Zorga and card with divine skill. Choose one of your vanguards and it gets auto Vanguard. When this unit attacks into a Vanguard, you get to retire rear guard. Choose an opponent's rear guard, kill it, and this unit will get plus 10,000 power to the end of that battle until end of turn. all around pretty solid. It's a way to help increase the Vanguard's power because it's the only one not getting power now from your skills because it doesn't get it from the new order, doesn't get it from its own skill, it just stands columns. So being able to increase the Vanguard's power is great while still also filling up your drop zone cards, and you can kill the rear guards. They're going to die at the end of the turn anyways, just to kill your opponent's rear guards as well. All around Clutch of Grudge Toxin is a very solid normal order. Personally, I'm probably not going to run it just because I feel like the 10k is unnecessary when you have double crit beat sticks going down the lines. But you know what? If you have the space for it, definitely a nice 2 of tech option. And then our last card of the day is the thing I've been mentioning for the last few minutes, and that is Roaming Prism Dragon 2 Electric Boogaloo, otherwise known as Abomination of Impending Karma. Great turns at 5k shield, 10k base, auto when is placed on rearguard circle by energy blasting form, binding a normal order from your drop zone. Oh, more ways to set up Nadir. You get to give this unit 5,000 power to the end of the turn for each normal order with a different card name in your bind zone. This can be placed on rearguard while you're at grade 2. It can be placed on rear guard while you're at grade 1 if you find a way to do that. It does not need Zorga to use this skill. And if you want a superior call from Zorga to give it more numbers off of Zorga's benefit and more numbers off its own benefit, you very much can. But you're probably not going to call this because you don't need to. And then the last skill is Auto Drop Zone. At the beginning of your battle phase, if you have Vanguard Zorga and its card name and the Divine skill, and you did Alchemagic this turn, you may call this card to rear guard. And if you called, and your opponent's Vanguard is also a grade 3, it gets a crit. Potentially can get, granted it's going to cost your EB, but potentially it can get more numbers than Roaming Prison, and it still gets the crit. Bushy has not only given us 4 attacks in DZ Zorga, but it has also given us 2 of them being two or three of them being extra crits. I cannot wait to see the chaos this will reign, and all I will say is that next week, or not next week, our next booster set will be Transdimensional Leap, which is, since it's, you know, the 3rd set in a series, that means we are getting, here, I'm just going to send this to the Discord right now, actually, but that means we are getting, new, side grade 3 reveals, so, you know, like the standard, glitter units, and something to mention, as it goes through Discord right about now, is, as you will see if I close up on it, we see the new new Arkwright and Shoto Doji, but more importantly, if we narrow down on this one corner here, who is this? Transrotor. That's the first thing I saw. And this looks like a possible Divine Sister grade 3. So honestly, we'll see. But either way though, actually, wait, no, never mind. Oh, they're both new ride lines. I still have hope that that's a Dark State one. But either way though, I'm this one here. Hope you guys enjoy. In the next one, I have no idea what we're talking about, so I'll see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, look for Twitch, and don't forget to send up your Vanguards.